Have you ever felt overwhelmed by anxiety? The Stoics, with their simple and powerful practices, hold the keys to transforming this internal battle into serenity. In this video, we'll explore 7 Stoic principles to end anxiety. Get ready to dive into ancient teachings, discovering how to apply them to your life to find the inner peace you seek. Stay with me and begin your journey towards tranquility. At the beginning of our journey, let's delve into the words of Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics in history. He reminds us that anxiety is not external but an internal creation, shaped by our own perceptions. This profound insight gives us a new perspective on anxiety, revealing that we have the power to transform it. Imagine anxiety as a storm forming within us. By understanding this, we can begin to dispel the clouds and let the sun shine again. Marcus Aurelius' wisdom teaches us that the real battle against anxiety is fought within our minds. By recognizing this, we empower ourselves to face our fears with more courage and serenity. Think about the last time you felt anxious. Was it really an external factor that caused this feeling, or was it your interpretation of that event? This questioning can be the first step toward a significant change in how we deal with anxiety. To illustrate this, imagine Sarah, a technology manager who faces daily challenges at work. By realizing that her anxiety was fueled by her own perceptions, she began to look at her responsibilities differently. Instead of seeing each problem as an insurmountable mountain, she started viewing them as opportunities for growth and learning. This shift in perspective transformed her approach and significantly reduced her anxiety. Adopting this Stoic view may seem simple, but it requires practice and dedication. Start by observing your thoughts and identifying patterns that trigger anxiety. Ask yourself if these thoughts reflect reality or if they are distortions created by your perceptions. This self-observation is a fundamental principle of Stoicism and can be a powerful tool for combating anxiety. By applying this technique, you'll notice that anxiety starts to lose its grip. Just like Sarah, you'll begin to see challenges as opportunities, not threats. This is the first step to taking control of your mind and, consequently, your life. Remember, anxiety is an internal construction, and by changing the way we see the world, we can change the way we feel. This journey to mastering anxiety is just beginning. In the next step, we will explore how naming our fears can help us demystify them and regain control. Stay tuned and prepared to continue this transformation with practical and effective techniques. Technique 1. Name your monster. Continuing our journey, let's explore the powerful technique of naming our fears. This practice, inspired by Stoic principles, helps us demystify what causes us anxiety. When we identify and name our fears, they cease to be scary monsters and become manageable challenges. Imagine, for example, Sarah, a technology manager. She used to feel overwhelming anxiety before important meetings. By naming this fear, calling it performance insecurity, she was able to face it more rationally. This technique of naming our fears is like casting light on shadows. By clearly identifying what scares us, we can take concrete steps to deal with these fears. Think about the last time you felt anxious for no apparent reason. What was really at the root of that feeling? Perhaps it was the fear of failure or disapproval. By giving a specific name to this fear, you can begin to dismantle it. Let's take the example of a college student worried about exams. By realizing that his anxiety stemmed from the fear of not meeting his parents' expectations, he started calling this fear family pressure. This allowed him to address the problem directly, talking to his parents about their expectations and working to set realistic goals. This significantly reduced his anxiety. Naming our fears also makes it easier to communicate with others. When we share our fears clearly, those around us can offer more effective support. Imagine someone saying, "I'm feeling anxious," versus, "I'm afraid of being judged for my performance." The specificity allows friends and family to know exactly how to help. This creates an environment of mutual support and understanding, essential for combating anxiety. Applying this technique is simple and can be done daily. Take a moment to reflect on your anxieties and identify your underlying fears. Write them down in a notebook, giving each one specific names. This not only helps clarify your concerns but also gives you a sense of control over them. By repeating this practice, you will develop a powerful skill for dealing with anxiety effectively. And so, by demystifying our fears through naming, we prepare the ground for the next Stoic technique. In the next step, we will explore the importance of focusing on the present moment, another valuable tool for combating anxiety and finding serenity in our daily lives. Technique 2, Focus on the present moment. Continuing our exploration, we now delve into the technique of focusing on the present moment. This Stoic principle is fundamental for reducing anxiety as it encourages us to live in the here and now, instead of worrying about what is yet to come. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that the present is all we truly have. Think of Emma, a businesswoman constantly worried about the future of her business. By starting to practice mindfulness, she found contentment in appreciating the small daily moments, which gradually reduced her anxiety. Mindfulness can be applied in various everyday situations. Imagine you are worried about a presentation at work next week. Instead of spending energy anticipating possible failures, focus on the tasks you can accomplish today to better prepare. This shift of focus, from the uncertain future to the controllable present, not only reduces anxiety but also increases efficiency and mental clarity. To practice this technique, start with simple breathing exercises. Take a few minutes of your day to sit in silence and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, counting to 4, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale counting to 4 again. This exercise helps anchor your mind in the present and can be done anywhere, anytime, especially when anxiety begins to arise. Emma, for instance, found mindfulness practice to be a powerful ally. During stressful meetings, she uses breathing techniques to center herself and focus on the ongoing conversation instead of worrying about future outcomes. This practice not only helped reduce her anxiety but also improved her ability to make informed and efficient decisions. Another effective approach is guided meditation. There are several apps and online videos that can guide you through meditations focused on the present moment. Dedicating 10 to 15 minutes a day to this practice can transform how you deal with stress and anxiety. By focusing on the now, you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, allowing you to manage them more effectively. By adopting the practice of focusing on the present, you not only reduce anxiety but also discover a new way to appreciate life in its fullness. This Stoic technique prepares us for the next stage in our journey, testing our impressions. Let's learn how to examine our thoughts and automatic reactions to events, a crucial step to mastering anxiety and living a more serene and balanced life. Before we continue, if you are enjoying the content, please leave a like on the video. It's quick and will help YouTube recognize that our content is relevant and recommend it to more people who could benefit from these ideas. Technique 3, Test your impressions. Continuing our journey, let's now explore the technique of testing our impressions. This Stoic principle invites us to examine our thoughts and automatic reactions to events. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but rather our interpretation of them. Imagine receiving constructive criticism at work. Instead of seeing it as a personal attack, view it as an opportunity for growth. This completely changes how you handle the situation. To apply this technique, start observing your thoughts without judgment. When something bothers you, ask yourself, is this really as bad as it seems? Often, we discover that our reactions are exaggerated or based on unfounded assumptions. For example, if you are anxious because your boss asked to speak with you, instead of immediately thinking you did something wrong, consider other possibilities. Maybe they want to give you positive feedback or discuss a new project. Sarah, the technology manager we talked about earlier, adopted this approach when dealing with her team's criticism. Instead of reacting defensively, she began to see each comment as a chance to improve her leadership skills. This shift in perspective not only reduced her anxiety but also strengthened her relationship with her team and improved the work environment. Another way to test your impressions is to seek objective evidence. When an anxious thought arises, ask yourself, what are the real proofs that this is true? Often, we realize that our concerns are based on hypothetical fears and not on concrete facts. This practice helps us separate reality from our assumptions, reducing anxiety and allowing us to make more informed decisions. Writing can also be extremely useful. Keep a journal where you can record your impressions and analyze them later. Writing about your thoughts and emotions allows you to see them more clearly and objectively. By rereading your notes, you can identify patterns and develop a better understanding of how your impressions affect your anxiety level. By mastering the technique of testing your impressions, you gain a powerful tool to manage your anxiety more effectively. This Stoic principle teaches us to see beyond appearances and to question our automatic reactions, promoting a more balanced and serene life. In the next step, we will learn to evaluate our desires, focusing on what is under our control and finding contentment in the actions we can truly influence. Technique 4. Evaluate your desires. Continuing our journey, let's now address the technique of evaluating our desires. This Stoic principle teaches us to focus on desires that are under our control, such as our efforts and integrity, rather than seeking external validation. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes that we should concentrate on what we can control, as this brings greater contentment. Imagine you want a promotion at work. Instead of worrying about your boss's decision, focus on how you can improve your skills and performance. To apply this technique, start reflecting on your desires and goals. Ask yourself, is this under my control? If the answer is no, try redirecting your focus to aspects you can directly influence. For example, if you are anxious about being accepted into a prestigious university, instead of worrying about the final outcome, concentrate on giving your best in the application process and your studies. This focus on personal efforts brings a sense of accomplishment and reduces anxiety. Emma, the businesswoman mentioned earlier, faced constant anxiety seeking approval from her peers and clients. By applying Stoic teachings, she began to value her actions and efforts more than others' opinions. This shift in perspective helped her find satisfaction in her daily work, regardless of external recognition. This not only improved her mental health but also made her feel more confident and fulfilled. Another way to evaluate your desires is to make a list of your goals and divide them into two categories: what is under your control and what is not. Focus on actions and behaviors you can control and work to improve them. For example, if your desire is to improve your relationship, instead of trying to change the other person's behavior, concentrate on how you can be more attentive and communicative. This practical and proactive approach brings more peace of mind and effectiveness. Practicing gratitude is also essential in this process. Take time each day to reflect on what you have managed to control and what you are grateful for. This helps shift your focus from what you don't have to what you have achieved, promoting a sense of contentment and satisfaction. This simple habit can profoundly impact reducing anxiety. By learning to evaluate our desires and focus on what is under our control, we take an important step towards a more serene and balanced life. This Stoic technique prepares us for the next approach, doing less, but with more intention. Let's discover how simplicity and intentionality can increase our productivity and reduce stress, providing a fuller and more meaningful life. If you are appreciating these valuable lessons and want to take your Stoic journey to the next level, we have something special for you. Introducing our ebook, Wealth and Wisdom: Stoicism as a Path to Financial Prosperity. This practical and inspiring guide combines ancient Stoic teachings with modern financial strategies to transform your financial life and develop a balanced and resilient mindset. For just $14.90, you can take the first step towards achieving financial prosperity and true balance. Don't let uncertainty and financial stress control your life. Invest in yourself today and discover the power of Stoic wisdom to achieve true wealth and financial serenity. The link to purchase is pinned in the first comment of the video. Don't miss this opportunity. Technique 5, Do Less. We now come to a powerful Stoic technique, doing less, but with more intention. This principle invites us to prioritize fewer tasks, focusing on those that truly matter, to increase productivity and reduce stress. Marcus Aurelius teaches us not to overload ourselves with countless activities but to wisely choose where to put our energy. Imagine a daily task list. Instead of trying to complete all of them, select the 3 most important and focus on them. To apply this technique, start simplifying your to-do list. Ask yourself, what really needs to be done today? By reducing your tasks to the essentials, you avoid overload and improve your efficiency. Sarah, the technology manager, adopted this approach by realizing that many of her daily activities were not as urgent as they seemed. She began focusing on tasks that would bring the greatest impact to her team and projects, resulting in significantly higher productivity and reduced stress. The practice of prioritization is crucial. Identify your most important tasks at the beginning of the day and dedicate yourself to them before anything else. This ensures that you are always advancing towards your most significant goals. Emma, the businesswoman, learned to prioritize her commitments, delegating less important tasks and focusing on those that truly required her attention. This change not only improved her performance but also freed up time for rest and leisure moments. Besides simplifying your tasks, consider the quality of your work. Doing less does not mean being less productive but being more efficient and effective. Focus on performing each task with excellence instead of doing many things moderately. This Stoic approach values intentionality and attention to detail, resulting in more satisfying and less stressful work. Another strategy is to adopt the philosophy of no. Learn to say no to commitments and tasks that do not add real value to your life or your goals. Protecting your time and energy is essential to maintaining sanity and productivity. Sarah began declining unnecessary meetings and projects that were not aligned with her priorities, allowing her to dedicate more time and energy to activities that truly matter. By incorporating the technique of doing less, you not only simplify your life but also create space to focus on what truly matters. This Stoic principle prepares us for the next technique, practicing negative visualization. Let's learn how contemplating possible negative outcomes can help us appreciate current blessings and prepare for life's uncertainties, promoting gratitude and resilience. Technique 6. Practice negative visualization. Now let's explore the practice of negative visualization, a Stoic technique that may seem counterintuitive at first glance. This principle encourages us to contemplate possible negative outcomes, not to scare us, but to appreciate what we currently have and prepare for life's uncertainties. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics believed that imagining the worst possible scenario helps us value our present blessings more and develop resilience. Think of a time when you feared losing something important. Visualizing that loss can truly make you appreciate what you have more. To apply this technique, take a moment to reflect on the important aspects of your life. Imagine what your life would be like without these things or people. This may seem uncomfortable, but by doing so, you begin to appreciate what you have more deeply. For example, Emma, the businesswoman, started imagining what her life would be like without her health or her family. This practice made her realize the importance of taking better care of herself and valuing her time with loved ones more. Negative visualization can also be applied to specific situations. If you are anxious about a work presentation, imagine the worst possible scenario. Maybe you forget your lines or the slides do not work. Now think about how you would deal with that. By visualizing these outcomes, you can mentally prepare to face them, reducing anxiety and increasing your confidence. Sarah, the technology manager, used this technique before important meetings, which helped her feel more prepared and calm. In addition to increasing gratitude, negative visualization teaches us to be resilient. When we anticipate difficulties, we are not caught off guard and can respond more effectively. Think of an investor considering possible market downturns. By doing so, he can create strategies to minimize losses and protect his investments. This same principle can be applied to any area of life, from relationships to personal projects. Another way to practice this technique is to reflect on the past and identify difficult moments you overcame. This not only reinforces your ability to face adversity but also highlights the lessons learned. Emma recalled times of crisis in her company and how, despite the challenges, she managed to overcome and emerge stronger. This retrospective not only made her more grateful for the present but also more confident in her ability to handle future difficulties. By adopting negative visualization, you equip yourself with a stronger and more grateful mindset, ready to face life's uncertainties with courage and serenity. This Stoic technique prepares us for the next step, finding moments of stillness. Let's discover how tranquility and disconnecting from chaos can provide mental relief and cultivate mindfulness and presence in our lives. Technique 7. Find moments of stillness. To conclude our journey through Stoic techniques, let's explore the importance of finding moments of stillness. This principle invites us to disconnect from the chaos around us and find tranquility in our daily routine. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoics practiced moments of stillness to reflect and recharge their minds. Think of these moments as essential pauses that allow you to reconnect with yourself and find clarity amid turbulence. To apply this technique, start by reserving a few minutes of your day to simply stop and sit in silence. This can be done in the morning, before starting your activities, or at night, before going to bed. Sarah, the technology manager, found great value in spending 5 minutes every day in absolute silence, without distractions. These moments helped clear her mind, reduce anxiety, and start the day with a renewed perspective. Emma, the businesswoman, discovered that stillness can be practiced in various ways. She started including quiet walks in nature in her routine, without using electronic devices. These walks not only provided daily stress relief but also gave her the opportunity to reflect on her goals and business strategies more clearly and creatively. This quality time with herself became an indispensable ritual. Another effective way to practice stillness is through meditation. There are countless meditation techniques that can help calm the mind and promote mindfulness. Guided meditation, for example, can be an excellent way to start. Take 10 to 15 minutes of your day to sit comfortably, close your eyes, and follow a guided meditation focusing on breath and presence. This simple habit can bring a deep sense of peace and mental clarity. The practice of stillness can also be found in leisure moments without a specific purpose, like watching the sunset or simply being present during a cup of tea. These small pauses in the daily routine can have a significant impact on reducing anxiety and increasing overall well-being. Sarah found comfort in dedicating a few minutes every night to stargazing, allowing her mind to calm down before bed. By incorporating moments of stillness into your life, you create space for reflection and self-care, essential for maintaining serenity amid daily demands. This Stoic technique leads us to a more balanced and conscious way of life. And so, with these 7 techniques in mind, you are ready to apply Stoic principles to end anxiety and find a more serene and fulfilling path. Now that you know the 7 Stoic principles to end anxiety, it's time to apply this knowledge and transform your life. Think, how can you start naming your fears? How can you focus more on the present? How about testing your impressions today? Challenge yourself to change and see the difference it makes. Are you ready to take this step? Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to keep learning about achieving serenity and happiness through Stoicism. Together, we can transform our relationship with anxiety and live a fuller and more balanced life.